So, good morning. We've got Candra Burns with us this morning in Germany. She is a military spouse and a social media expert speaker internationally. And I am so excited to have her as a guest this morning so you can get to know her and what she does. So, Candra, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am from Washington State, born and raised on the coast. And I worked the past 10 years of my life in the States, as well as I have 3 degrees from the area. And so, a spouse. I've actually only been a military spouse technically since May of 2017. So it hasn't been that long. And even then, my husband was serving in Korea. He flew home to get our marriage certificate, and we didn't even have a homecoming or we just went straight into the marriage. And then we had a little honeymoon for one day, and we just made it work. And then he flew back to serve the 6 months he had left. And so I was holding the fort down in Washington State. So I actually didn't consider myself a military spouse fully until January of 2018. So
Germany?
In Germany, when we landed here was when I finally was like,
Okay.
oh, this is real.
Right.
So the challenges have been the fact that overseas bases operate differently than the stateside bases.
Mm-hmm.
And so overseas bases are mostly for active duty missions. And I didn't really know what that meant until I started getting turned away by doctors and the dentist. So I learned very quickly that I'm going to have to go to what we call the economy. So I have to go into Germany for most of my needs. And that included my business. When I started to learn that I had to register with the Germans, before moving to Germany, I would have loved to have known some German. I didn't even know that I'd be operating my business out of the German system. And so the first thing I got in the mail was a 150 questionnaire in German for the financial, it's like the equivalent of the IRS.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known how the Germans operated, because they are very different, a different culture. And the USA is full of different types of people. We have the freedom, we have, we can think the way we want to think, we can do what we want to do in America. And the Germans are very specialized in what they do. And this analogy I learned from one of my friends here. She's a assistant principal for a school here. She taught me that there's a box in the road on the Autobahn. And what the Germans will do is they'll say, who's going to move the box? Well, I don't know how to move the box. Are you going to move the box? And this goes back and forth. And so in America, I will move the box.
Right. Even if it's not your job.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's very true. You spoke recently for an event.
International Business Conference in Poland.
Okay. So what do you love most about your work? Is it speaking? Is it doing media content for people, social media content? Is it writing? All of the above?
I do utilize every aspect of writing, content marketing, and speaking. So I love teaching people in person. And that's the greatest thing about events is the social media is so ever changing, and it's hard to connect with people. And so I'm teaching people at events when I go speak that, hi, I'm here in person because I still care about that. I really want to shake your hand and get to know you. Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk about, how can I help you with your social media? So I try to teach people. And recently someone said that I give information and value for free, and they really enjoy that about me, because I was able to help relocated spouses from all over the world in a 5-day annual meeting as an assistant.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was a rewarding experience because I was setting things up for them. I was the one that was on the information table, or if their seminar they wanted to trade to go to a different seminar, which is where the speakers come in, then I would help spouses with that. And so it was like 150 people. So it was a really great way to not only network, but also help other relocated spouses.
Yeah. It is such an unnerving experience if you have to recreate yourself and if you followed somebody's career. So relocation spouses, that trailing spouse, is one of my passions. And one of the biggest challenges, I think, again, I'm passionate about relocation, the actual physical relocation, the real estate side of things, helping somebody find a house. But so often the people that I worked with when I was moving around the country as well as internationally had never moved themselves. So I love what you're doing for spouses there and at a conference, just to be able to go, I've done this too. I've had to recreate myself. I've had to recreate my business. I've had to figure out how to get the work permit and go through all the 150 questions from the German government. And it's
Yes.
hard and it's challenging, but you can do it. It's just going to take a little work and hand holding, and I'm here to support you. So I love what you do.
LinkedIn, because I do publish a lot of articles and posts that they go across. So I have a social media strategy where I put everything across all 3 platforms at one time, or all 4 platforms, depending on what the content is. So I will be constantly creating articles about international life. I have an article out on LinkedIn called "What International Conference Life is Like."
Awesome. Well, Candra, thanks so much for taking your time today to just talk to us and again, just bring value so that anybody that listens to this or watches this that's in the relocation industry can point to you and use you as a resource. Especially, again, it's so hard when you pick up and you have to recreate yourself and leave a career to start over. You're a huge encouragement, I think, to any spouse that has to do that. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Lindy. Thank you for interviewing me on the podcast.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.